here is the problem. The Conservatives have got a philosophical problem here because they like to cast themselves as, the defenders of freedom, even to a libertarian degree. A good piece in the Times quotes one senior Tory as saying, well, in fact, someone involved in the bill itself, as saying there's quite some concern in Tory circles about this. There are places where you need to protect space, not close it down. So, these are the people that have allowed the notion of cancel culture to be inflated to a ridiculous degree. And now they have essentially boxed themselves into a corner where they've got to start cancelling points of view online, which is perhaps why there is some scepticism about whether it will actually happen. It's been put on a timetable by the Prime Minister. Of course, Boris Johnson saying on a Monday that he's definitely going to do something does not mean that he won't have completely U-turned by Tuesday. But isn't that really interesting? The whole party conference in Manchester was bookended by attacks on so-called cancel culture, but stuff online that's not already a crime, banning that, what are you going to call it? And I stress, stuff that's not already a crime. So incitement to religious or racial hatred, or threats of violence, or the kind of abuse that is already, if the recipient goes to the trouble of reporting it and the authorities go to the trouble of investigating it, it's already a crime. So this online harms bill is going to be looking at stuff that's not already legislated for, stuff that's not already a crime. And I don't know what it's going to look like. I really, really don't. I mean, presumably, yeah, I really don't. Because thinking of the examples that I gave you, I could have taken legal action against that Conservative MP. Even after she apologised, I probably could have done because, a lie is halfway around the world before the truth has got its trousers on. So what is it going to look like? I truly don't know. And that might be the way into the conversation. And then there's a David Davis speech attacking domestic vaccine passports, which was pulled from YouTube for violating rules on medical information. It got put back subsequently, but presumably largely because David Davis made a massive fuss about it, or his supporters made a massive fuss about it. I think I disagree with him. I didn't see the speech, so I don't know how far down the road he went. I certainly see a strong case for a form of passport. I balk slightly at the word mandatory, or the concept of them being compulsory. But if it wasn't David Davis, do you see what I mean? Who's going to decide? Who polices the police? Quis custodiet custodium something custard. All of which should, in the next 90 seconds, boil down to a neat and simple question for you to answer. And that question is this. And take a moment to think about it. I just put Holocaust denial in the mix as well, at one extreme. Also, The Spectator magazine publishes people saying that they want more Islamophobia in the world, people saying that they're defending the Waffen-SS, a sort of form of Nazi apologism. I mean, what is going to be banned online that doesn't routinely pop up in the pages of your favourite newspaper? I genuinely don't know. And I'm not sure. Well, let's find out. So I'm going to open up the phone lines, 0345 6060973. I think, and oddly, the political editor of The Spectator thinks that Boris Johnson could be in a bit of trouble here. He writes, "This is one of the most complicated and perhaps most consequential pieces of legislation the government will produce. It might not have sounded that dramatic, but when Boris Johnson made a commitment to Sir Keir Starmer that he would bring the online harms bill to Parliament before Christmas, a frisson of nerves ran around Whitehall." Now, I guess even the editor of The Spectator isn't ready yet to admit that just because Boris Johnson said it on Wednesday doesn't mean he'll pretend he never said it by Thursday. But here's the question. What do you think? And it's got to be filed under things that aren't currently against the law. What should be banned from online platforms? Because they're going to have to write laws about this. I do this for a living. I know more about online hatred and abuse and mainstream media hatred and abuse than your average Joe, and I haven't got a clue where to start.